Today's episode of The Dan Cave is brought to you by the new movie Sleight, in theaters this Friday. When the scorching summer temperatures threaten to turn you into a post-accident Alex Mack, what do? Do you just accept your fate that you're doomed to become the lesser of two Wonder Twins? Do you legally change your name to Sticky Jeff since that's basically what you are now? Or do you seek solace in the air-conditioned paradise of your local movie theater? Spoiler alert, the only answer is going to the movies. Anything else is absolutely crazy. Thankfully, there's a heaping helping of kick-ass movies on the way this summer, and on today's episode of The Dan Cave, I'm going to tell you the best movies you need to see to beat the heat this summer. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Everyone's favorite gang of intergalactic a-holes are back with some sweet throwback tunes, the continuing adventures of Baby Groot, and Kurt Russell as a sentient planet who definitely, absolutely, 100% has a wiener. The sequel has some massive expectations to live up to, but then again, it also has 100% more Sylvester Stallone than the first one, and if the MCU was in desperate need of one thing, it was a Tango and Cash reunion.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Soap. And don't flatter yourself.
Alien Covenant. Back before Ripley burst onto the scene, the xenomorphs were but weenomorphs, which is not a cute term for a boner, but for baby aliens. And there was a human colonization mission that went awry. Ooh. Alien Covenant is the story of that mission, which, spoiler alert, probably won't end well for our intrepid crew. But considering that our intrepid crew now contains Danny McBride as Space Kenny Powers, you'd better strap on some goddamn K-Swiss and get your butt to a theater for a chest-bursting good time. Wonder Woman. After kicking ass, taking names, and occasionally using some unorthodox Themyscira and chiropractic on Maxwell Lord for the past 75 years, it's about damn time that Wonder Woman gets her own feature film. Diana of Themyscira is one of the best parts of the DCEU, and she's taking us back to WW1 for what looks like is going to be a brutal battle against the god of war himself, Ares. So come for the bullet deflecting and leg sweeping, but stay for the invisible jet. Seriously though, where is it? I need to see it. I know it's invisible, but you gotta show me this damn jet. The Mummy. While this movie may lack the Brendan Fraser many Egyptologists believe is required for a successful mummy film, The Mummy does have a secret ingredient that can save otherwise ill-advised action films. Tom Cruise. Sorry. Tom Cruise. This movie has Tom Cruise running. This movie has Tom Cruise coming back from the dead. This movie has Tom Cruise screaming. You know, that old chestnut. That old chestnut. What is he doing? Why did they use that take? That is such bad ADR. And it has Sophia Boutella, the amazing sword-legs girl from Kingsman: The Secret Service, as the mummy herself. Will The Rock be in the post-credit sequence for a Scorpion King cameo? Probably not, but I guess not all dreams were meant to come true, Dad. Transformers: The Last Knight. Finally, the Transformers franchise has reached the point where all fandoms converge. This movie has everything. It's got giant robot fights, King Arthur, Nazis, and possibly Stanley Tucci playing Merlin. That's right, folks, the Tooch as the greatest wizard of all time. It also has the least believable thing of all time, which is Mark Wahlberg as a scientist. Still, what the hell is going on there? Mark Wahlberg as a scientist? Are you crazy?
Really?
Anyway, most importantly, the movie wound up finding a home for Freya, a rescue pup dubbed Britain's loneliest dog, who was rejected by 18,000 potential owners before landing a role in this movie and a forever home as part of the movie's production. So yeah, go ahead and shit on Michael Bay all you want, but look at this sweet angel and look at her being a goddamn movie star. But like, 18,000 people rejected her? Are you f***ing kidding me? Baby Driver. If you only see one film about a getaway driver suffering from tinnitus this summer, make it Baby Driver. Edgar Wright's musical action masterpiece feels like a throwback to heist movies of yesteryear, but it's infused with his unique sense of humor. And boasting the best soundtrack in ages, Baby Driver absolutely deserves a parking spot in your heart. But shitty jokes aside, this movie is a hell of a lot of fun and features some of the best stunt driving in recent memory. And yes, I saw Fate of the Furious. What a silly movie. Go see Baby Driver, it's way better. Spider-Man Homecoming. Either my spidey sense is tingling or I absolutely need to see a doctor because I've got a feeling that Spider-Man Homecoming is gonna blow my dick clean off. Or at the very least, it'll be really enjoyable. Your choice. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man swings back into theaters for his third iteration in 15 years with Michael Keaton as Vulture, a guest appearance by Tony Stark himself, and us finally not having to see poor sweet Uncle Ben die on camera. Which is great news for everyone but Stanley, who once famously said, I invented Spider-Man just to take his uncle away again and again. Excelsior! War for the Planet of the Apes. The fact that the new generation of Planet of the Apes movies are actually really good is straight up bananas. But the only monkey business you'll find in this movie is an increasingly dystopian world in which the last vestiges of humanity was band together against an increasingly intelligent army of apes. Now, to be fair, we did kind of drop first blood in this conflict, but also, apes are scary as hell up close. Have you seen them? And they fling their poo at you. And if I know Woody Harrelson, the villain of this movie, he hates having poo flung at him. Think about it. Dunkirk. This summer, have some fun, Kirk, with Christopher Nolan, short hair Harry Styles, and the cast of Dunkirk, a sweeping World War II drama about the Battle of Dunkirk in which more than 330,000 Allied soldiers managed to evacuate from the beaches of Dunkirk, France after being cut off by the German army. And honestly, is there any better way to experience the brutality and horrors of war than on IMAX as envisioned by Christopher Nolan and shot by Hoyt van Hoytema? If there is, I don't want to know because that sounds way too intense for me, man. Valyrian and the City of 1,000 Planets. The comic that Star Wars shamelessly stole from and that The Fifth Element was deeply influenced by is now getting a major motion picture adaptation from the director of The Fifth Element, Luc Besson.
Unbelievable!
This movie about two space-time cops, Valyrian and Laureline, as played by Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne, looks gloriously weird with dozens of alien species, Ethan Hawke as a creepy cabaret pimp, and a tiny critter that can poop out copies of whatever it eats. Don't you wish your butt could do that? The answer is yes, Dan. We all wish our butts could do that, but they can't. And the only way to make that dream remotely come true is to watch Luc Besson's gonzo vision of it in Valyrian this summer. Also read the comics, they're legit great. Atomic Blonde. Imagine that if instead of Keanu Reeves playing a bereaved dog owner / the world's deadliest hitman in John Wick, it was Charlize Theron in the role as a brutal blonde assassin who turned all of her opponents into a fine red mist. Well, you don't have to imagine because not only do we get John Wick with Keanu, but now we get Atomic Blonde with Charlize Theron as well. The movie stars Theron as an elite MI6 agent sent to Berlin on an impossible mission, which is a bit confusing because we know that nothing's impossible for Theron after seeing her in Mad Max Fury Road. And it gets even better. This movie's directed by John Wick co-director and Deadpool 2 director David Leitch. So these three films are basically going to be the ghosts of Ass Tixmas past, present, and future. Go see it. The Dark Tower. Look, if I tried to explain The Dark Tower to you here right now, I'd wind up with a migraine and you would just be as confused as you were before, so you're just gonna have to trust me when I say that you wanna see Idris Elba as Roland the Gunslinger and Matthew McConaughey looking like a straight up anime villain in this sprawling dark fantasy western from the mind of Stephen King. And unlike many things from the mind of Stephen King, this one wasn't written by a sentient pile of cocaine. That was Maximum Overdrive, and holy smokes, what a bonkers movie that is! Why does that truck have the face of the Green Goblin? I have so many questions! Anyway, I'm excited to see The Dark Tower, and I hope you are too. And those are some of the best movies coming your way this summer. You can find my expanded list on Nerdist.com, but tell me in the meantime, which are you most excited to see? What would you add to this list? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're there, give me an action-packed thumbs up. Now be sure to like and subscribe or else you might miss next week's episode about the story of a prize-winning racehorse that undergoes genetic modification and starts killing everyone on an underwater research base in Deep Blue Seabiscuit. Until next time, keep on digging. And before we go, I want to give one last shout out to our sponsor, the new movie Sleight, in theaters this Friday. Guys, if you're in the mood for something superhero-y but are feeling a little burnt out on Marvel and DC, then Sleight is totally worth checking out. It's about a teenage street magician who gets in over his head with some dangerous criminals, and the only way out is with an awesome combination of science and magic. It's fun, it's exciting, it's original, and I really think you're gonna have a blast watching it. Plus, it's from the same people that brought you Get Out, so you know it's gonna be all people are talking about online next Monday. So see it now and avoid the spoilers. That's Sleight in theaters this Friday. Let's open up the old mailbag, shall we? At Hubernaut asks, which Final Fantasy is the best in the entire series, and why? That's a great question. Final Fantasy VII is the game that got me super into video games in the first place, but my answer is actually Final Fantasy Tactics. It delivered an experience like no other in the franchise with its addictive tactical combat, its expansive job system, and its genuinely baffling translation. Seriously, it was bad. It's a must-play and my absolute favorite in the series. Plus, you can be a mime, which is cool as hell, contrary to popular belief. But tell me, which Final Fantasy is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.